Well, tonight we heard the State of the Union address by President Obama. I thought overall it was a good address. I hope he meant some of the things he said that hadn't always been true in the past, but like with tax reform. The President says we've got to have tax reform. It needs to be simpler, fairer, and people paying their fair share is what he said in the past. I couldn't agree more. And I think the solution to that is a flat tax. You make a little bit, you pay a little bit. You make a lot, you pay a lot. A flat tax. Of course, I'm in favor of two deductions. One would be for mortgage interest deduction on the first home. If you have more than one, then you don't get it on those. And then also charitable contribution deduction. That's it. That's it. Flat tax. Everybody pays the same rate. My proposal would mirror that of Steve Forbes. Arthur Laffer, that was Reagan's economist, has also indicated support for this type of proposal. It would cause the economy to explode. This economy is waiting to explode. And one of the things that could help, the President brought it up, is energy. I was glad the President brought up energy. He wants to be energy independent, so do I. He brings up natural gas. Was tickled that he did, because natural gas could actually make us energy independent. It would help the environment. It burns cleanly, unlike some of the other fossil fuels. And we got enough for at least a couple hundred years. That would be plenty of time to find other solutions. The President said, let's lease federal lands and waters and use money, a portion of the money we get from that for the federal government, for energy resource. Research. I proposed that before. That would be the solution to having more research on future forms of energy. Just take a little part of what we would make if this President would open up the federal lands to being properly explored. He mentioned school reform. Now, we do have a difference there, because I supported his position when he was running for president for the elimination of No Child Left Behind. Because I recall when I graduated from high school in Mount Pleasant, Texas, if somebody wanted to be a welder, construction, carpenter, wanted to do auto repair, when you graduated from high school, you could pretty well get a job in farming. Different types of vocational jobs were available. It could be an apprentice welder. There were all kinds of things you could do. But we saw those virtually disappear the more the federal government took over control of local schools. We want school reform, then I say let's get rid of the federal strings that bind local schools. Let's let the local school district keep the millions and millions of dollars that they send through Washington, and for which Washington takes a cut. Let's just leave it at the local level. He mentioned immigration reform, and I'm pleased when I hear him talk about the ability to control the border, because that's the key. If we do not control who comes in, then what good is it to give amnesty or anything to the people that are already here? If he will do as he says he has done, but hasn't, and that is put more people on the border, actually secure the border, then we could make this all possible. He apparently is not aware that one of my least favorite presidents was Woodrow Wilson, but Woodrow Wilson actually put tens of thousands of people. There's a difference in what different historians say was the total number, but tens of thousands of people were put on our border to protect us after Pancho Villa came across into America and killed American families. Woodrow Wilson secured the border. If this president will do that, we will have an immigration reform bill in no time flat. He also mentioned that the government should be partnering with business. He kept talking about partnering plans. Well, he and I have a strong difference of opinion. He thinks the government is the solution, and it is clear from our history, when government is a referee, then the economy explodes. When government is a player, a partner, a coach, and a referee, the economy is stifled completely. So We want to see this economy take off. It's ready. All we need is for the government to quit trying to be a player, coach, and referee. Also, we mentioned gun control, and our hearts just go out to the family of Hadia and to the thousands of people who have lost family and friends in the last year to gun violence. But if the example were to be found of what to do in President Obama's hometown of Chicago, Hadia would never have been killed. There's more gun control laws in Chicago than anywhere in Texas, and yet Texas doesn't have anywhere near the percentage and level of gun violence that Chicago does. So the answer is not more gun control. It is enforcing the laws that we have. And so overall, I was pleased with the president's speech. He just gets some concepts terribly wrong on the government partnering. That's what China does with its businesses. It's what the Soviet Union did as it partnered and took over business. That's not what we want here. We want the government as a referee. And so there's room for mutual agreement, and I think Republicans and Democrats could work together if the president will actually agree to some of the things he's proposed.